Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're going to cast a ZVZ today with no special rules or anything. This is a rare occurrence. I don't do too many mirror matches, but Dude Nerd, a great curator of quality games, has suggested a Zerg vs. Zerg, and he doesn't do that lightly. So, you know what? Let's give it a look here today. In the top right, we have Hero, the most consistent and the most consistent Zerg that we've had in the modern era, for sure. He's been like top 3 world Zerg, basically nonstop. He had one really bad season recently. It seems like he's starting to do well again. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with that. I guess it happens. And then we have Sue down here. Sue getting really, really close to that ASL level. He's practicing very hard. Should be good, I guess. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Zerg vs. Zerg. Like, I do watch it when there's like a good pro match, but I'm guessing this is going to be a fun game. Cross spawn right now. Pool first coming down. And that's just straight up a 9 pool. That should be a little drone popping. Or does he go Overlord next, actually? Okay. I'm not super in tune with ZVZ build orders. I have like 1 or 2 that I use when I play Zerg. But looks like probably a hatch first going down. Yeah, from Sue. So Sue goes ahead, throws down his hatch. And against a 9 pool with the fast gas, like this should be favored for Hero, right? But they are cross spawn. So that helps a little bit on Sue's defense. Sue will be throwing down a spawning pool next. The numbers always look funny in ZVZ. The build orders, the way that they have them at this point, where it's like, yeah, you get the Overlord now so that you can be like 2 above the supply block to build all your buildings, and then you drop down to where the supply block was. It just always looks funny to me, the ZVZ openers, where it's like, you're really making the Overlord just for that? That's like, oh man. Zerg just plays so differently from Terran and Protoss. All right, very fast layer coming up from Hero. And the Ling's being sent out. Sue here, his spawning pool not even finished as of yet. And, well, we'll see what he's able to hold. Like, he's pulling up the larva. Don't forget that he will have extra larva from this hatchery as well. So that's going to add into the possibility of holding on. So that's 4 Lings being made. But you can see already here's 5 coming down. Couple more. Is that 5? Where's the other one? Oh, it went this way. Okay. Yeah, he thought he was down here. So we might actually see Sue pull drones. Yeah, this is pretty normal to do in this situation. If you lose this hatchery, you're never going to end up winning, basically. So you kind of need to fight with your drones. They both are on the same drone count right now. So he actually just travels through the Lings. He doesn't attack there. Okay, I actually think this is pretty high-end control from Sue. I thought he would attack, but what he did, so he moved through them and they had to pull back, because if he pulls the attack button and the pairings don't work well and the drones just kind of juggle the Lings a little bit, he'll lose all his Lings. So he pulled back a bit towards here, and then the drones came up and the Lings came from the side. So he had really good surface area around those Lings, which were kind of more in a pocket, where not all of them were going to attack super well. So that was some very, like, high StarCraft IQ control there from Sue, I would say. Okay. Where are we at now? Just droning. It looks like he's probably just going to have to go into Spore Defense. Second hatchery actually in the main base here for Hero. The reason he's doing this is because normally the Zerg player, if you go 9 pool speed layer and your opponent goes hatch first, they'll always mass ling you, or pretty much always mass ling you afterwards, right? So you can't really make your hatchery down here, but you want the extra larva. So this is not an uncommon thing for a game that looks like this. Now, on Sue's side, the next problem is going to be dealing with the mutas. Like, he's not afraid of the Lings. He's got plenty of Zerglings. I'm actually a little surprised he didn't push in. Notice how he left these back. The reason he left these back and didn't bring all of his Zerglings up here is because he doesn't know if there's a few Lings left over the side. Like, that was a sulky move for a long time. Leave 2 Lings up here, You know, sometimes people even leave more, 4 or 6 lings, and then there's like a counterattack. You send all your lings out, you lose all your drones, they slow you down, the mutas pop out, they hold, they win. Okay, so that's why he didn't really commit there, if you were wondering. Now, the mutas are coming out, and he's going to have to go spores. And this is tricky. You have to cover as much as you can with as few spores as possible. But one of the things that this type of strategy can do against this type of strategy is if the spores, like if they make enough spores to defend everything, you play in this area with your mutas. You stop rotation back and forth. And what can happen now that he has 2 hatches is potentially make enough lings to actually break the natural because he's preventing lings from coming down. Now, that's more of like a what I would call a mid-game or late-game ZVZ play, although it's not really late-game, but for current meta ZVZ, which has been meta forever, kind of it is. Oh, a big mistake to not already have that going for Sue. Oh, that's painful. But either way, like, you're gonna explore your other options before you do that. That's like everything's well defended, so that's when you play in that area. Okay, so that was painful. If he had already had that up, Hero would be in a worse position. So he checks here, he sees the double spore, he sees no secondary gas taken, so he's not like in fear of getting behind on Mutalisk count as of yet. He can't do full attacks on this, he can only micro against it, because if you just right click, this spore will be shooting nonstop. The expansion being taken. Now, if he can get the gas up there before this one's taken, he's just going to be the leader on gas mine and keep that good Mutalisk count overall. I would say right now the game is like pretty even. I don't feel like I know who's going to win from here. I think that for most high-level Zerg players, Sue's position is a little bit harder to play. And a lot of them prefer the position that Hero's in, where, you know, he's like got the aggressive advantage. Now, he's not really making more lings. It looks like he's just droning up. So the idea I was talking about where you try to flood lings here and you play in this position, it doesn't look like what he's going to do. By the way, he's got 2 overlords here, which is kind of funny. Oh, he's actually going for a few of the lings. Oh, okay. So what he was attempting there, and I've seen that occasionally as well, is kill some lings, make him pull the lings back towards the spore, and then run in with your lings so that they're up here, and then you block extra lings from coming in with this, and your lings kill the main. So that's another way to do it if you have less lings than them. Or fewer lings than them. Eat it. Now, yeah, that tactic didn't work, and now he's mining gas. We have Sue mining gas here as well. So there you have it. We're getting into a different stage of the game. There was no killing blow in the early portion. This is already kind of in the much later game Zerg vs. Zerg territory. You know, we're going up to 8 minutes. I don't think this will end before 10 minutes. It's carapace, flyer carapace going on both sides. Hero restarting speed, which he had canceled before to get more Mutalisks. Just kind of roaming with his lings a little bit. I mean, the mutas are sitting at home. You can do that. Now, there is one weird advantage that Sue has right now, and that's that he had purchased a bunch of spores already. So there is a little bit more leeway for Sue. Now, it's cross-spawn, so not as much as if it was close spawn, but there's more leeway for Sue to move out with his Mutalisks, because the counterattack would be difficult because of all the spore colonies. Now, you can get up to an amount of mutas where the spores don't matter that much anymore, but it is going to deal damage. It is going to slow down a counterattack. Whereas if Sue gets in undetected, he can just kill a bunch of drones and get out, no damage. Of course, if you get caught, that's where you end up losing the game. So, yeah, that's just something to keep in consideration. A third base being taken, Yeah, we're in like the 1% of Zerg vs. Zerg pro games now with third bases being taken. Is it 1%? I'm trying to think historically to all the ZVZs that I've casted, and I think it's probably third bases for both players happen in certainly less than 5% of the games, right? Something like that. Something like that. I'm not sure the exact numbers. Couple lings sneak their way in. I mean, this is reasonable scouting intel. You can tell the hatchery amount. There's still mutas being made. There's no, like, queen's nest or lair or anything. I mean, a hive. Anything like that, you know, kind of off the wall. late game stuff. Both sides just really concentrating on the Mutalisks. If no big mistakes are made with the Mutalisks and you kind of sit back. So here's a few things. Number one, you probably, especially as Sue, want to start +2 flyer carapace. Yeah, and they both go +2 flyer carapace as I say that. Because that is a better upgrade than +1 attack. After +2 flyer, +1 attack is better. It's just, it has to do with glaives and expense and all that, right? Like it's 225 gas and minerals for the +2 flyer carapace and 150 for +1. Whereas it's 100, then, was it 150, 150? No. Yeah, 150, 150, I believe, for +2 flyer attack. Or it could be 175, 175. Anyways, I don't know. Yeah, just something to mention. Now, that is a hell of a lot of mutas on both sides, and they're actually going to fight. I don't have any idea who has more mutas here. It looks like Hero does, the way that Sue's playing this. Oh, the Lings ran in. Actually, so yeah, that isn't what that meant. The fact that Hero did that and then flew away, he might have actually had fewer mutas. I don't know. This is so hard to tell. I have no idea the unit counts. There's just so many. Now, that looks to me like it's more for Sue, the way that those engagements went down. Hero flying away. He's got his third gas going. Third gas going. Is anyone going to go Queen's Nest? Or is it just going to be continual Mutalisks? Oh, gets a drone there. Not bad. A lot of Lings being made as well. So we could see a kind of similar move here where while mutas are fighting, Lings go elsewhere for an attack. Lings coming across the map there for Hero. Right now, Hero is up in that drone count pretty substantially. It's kind of interesting to see being up 7 drones. And that's most of the supply he's up. He's probably up like a couple Lings or something as well. Little fly in there from a Hero. Scourge coming back. Oh. I think the Scourge might have just been a scout. Not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like he was really aiming to hit the mutas. There's so many mutas at this point that even Scourge can get gunned down relatively easily. Sue is actually making some additional Scourge now as well. 4th base. Okay, now we're in the 0.1%. 4th base is like, yeah, that has to be 0.1% of top pro games. It's something like that. It really drops off drastically. So +2 flyer carapace is almost done. They're probably going to want to check on each other to see if they each have that. Because like if you have +2 flyer and your opponent does not, you're going to be at a pretty big advantage. Every muta attack is going to do 2 less damage. I think they'll both start +1 flyer attack immediately after this. Yeah, there it is. Dude, this is so many mutas. There's almost 4 groups there. So we're going to assume that Sue basically has the same amount. This is like, outside of BGH, this might be the most Mutalisks I've ever seen in a game at once. Certainly on BGH I've seen more than this, but like, other than that, no. And they're just, it's funny too, because it's like 30 drones, 36 drones. On BGH, it'll be like 80 drones, and then maxed on muta or something like that. Then you run into some Corsairs, you're like, oh no. Oh no, he has 2 groups of Corsairs. Okay, so Sue is also taking his 4th base. It's a little bit slower. Hero gets the scout on that. Sue is going to attack. Sue is making a lot of Scourge, and he never started +1 flyer attack. The only reason you would not start that is because you're planning to attack before it would finish. Because it's worth so much more than 1 Mutalisk. Look at this. He's making 11 groups of Scourge. So yeah, this is happening now. Here comes Hero's attack. Now, this is, you have to engage. This is the final engagement of the game. Someone is about to win. Sue doing some moving shots on this. Oh my god. This is just carnage. Who's gonna win, guys? Oh, Sue is by far. I had no idea. I guess making like 30 Scourge paid off there. Hero, wait a minute. Hero had his Lings attack during this while we watched that crazy battle. 18 drones remain. Can he does, yeah, he's making an evolution chamber. I think what we'll see from him, excuse me, is he's gonna just try to make like 40 spores somewhere. Because he can't beat the mutas. So he just needs to throw down mass spores, but he doesn't even have that many minerals, really. I think Sue just wins this, right? It's impossible for Hero to take this. All right, Hero comes in with his own Mutalisks now. His +1 flyer attack is almost on. Wait a minute, does he have more now? Dude, I don't know what is going on in this game. It is insane. All right, so Sue does definitely have so much more. He only made 1 spore there and none up here. Well, a little bit of a half-baked plan, I guess, going back to spore defense. The thing is, he did so much damage to the economy. I think there is a world in which maybe you can stabilize 2 bases, and then maybe the game is playable still. But yeah, interesting to see, by the way, that neither player tried for a Queen's Nest. No one went for that Hive tech. It seems like some players are willing to do that and some players are not. Like, for instance, if Action was in this game, I promise you he would have gone Hive. 100%. I think Shine would have. I think Effort would have gone Hive. But not everyone does it. There are players that will just be like, no, Mass Mute is still good here. Like, we can still win with this. And the thing is, they are right, I think, based on what we know about ZVZ right now. I don't think Hive becomes favored necessarily. No one's that good at it. Still, the game continues. There's like almost no drones for Sue. And he's down an upgrade. I tell you, this is the one time I wish we had a units tab. That's the one really, really nice thing about casting Zerg vs. Zerg in StarCraft 2, is I can just look at the units tab and be like, yes, he has more of this. He has more roaches. Okay. It's easier to see with that as well. The mutas all stack on top of each other. So it's like, okay, guys, I don't know how many's there. We don't have infinite unit selection. There's nothing I can do to, you know, the shadow is darker than a black hole. So it's like, there's definitely more than 3 groups here, guys. Okay, the Muta's flying across the map here for Sue. Gonna attack up here once again. Makes sense. He can't let that finish. Couple spores finish. There's no actual value in killing these spores, but I think he doesn't care. He's just going to kill everything. That is how you win the game, is eliminating all of your opponent's buildings. And of course, you're not going to see a base remade there at this point. So it does look like we've kind of stabilized on 2 base versus 2 base. Okay. Sue has a lot healthier mineral patches than what we see up here for Hero. Hero hasn't really been disturbed in that area. Whereas Hero's been disturbing Sue in that area, which is funny that that might be one of the game changers at the end of the day. So where do we go from here? Sue? Well, he's going to go across the map. That is a lot of Mutalisks. A lot of Scourge being made by Hero. Hero has droned really heavily at this point as well. I feel like in this game, couldn't it be worth it for him to make a couple more spores? The thing is, the spores are... The more mutas are out, the less the spores matter. But... like, his gas is the gating factor here, not the minerals. So I almost feel like it would make sense to make, like, 2 additional spores here. Make 2-3 spores here. That kind of feels like it makes sense to me. Even a Sunken could be helpful because we've seen a lot of these Ling attacks. Of course, we have full vision here, so we see that Sue is not really interested in Zerglings right now. He's just really primarily focusing on getting as many Mutalisks as possible to try to end this game. I do love, by the way, that he's only just now starting +1 flyer attack, because Heroes had that for a million years. That was actually something that Sue was really known for. If there's a unit composition that Sue's known for from StarCraft 2, a lot of people would say it's like Mass Roach Hydra or something. I would say that it's maxed out unupgraded corruptors, which is like the anti-air, the main anti-air unit of Zerg. It's like the guy skips a lot of upgrades and just macros. It's kind of funny, and to see that here in StarCraft 1 as well, to some degree. All right, the attack here from Hero, taking out these spores super fast. He's got a ton of Scourge in here, and he actually just pulls back. Good hit and run from Hero. Very good hit and run. Sue has way more mutas. You can tell. He's down 8 workers, but he's up in supply, and he has like 3 supply of Zerglings. So there's he has a lot of Mutalisks right now. Maybe he waits for that +1 flyer and then attacks. Could make sense. More Lings coming out from Hero. Yeah, so Hero on 4 hatch? Oh, yeah, he is on 4 hatch too. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. It's like, is that why he's making so many extra Lings? No, he's done a good job keeping a high drone count throughout the game. That is one thing I've definitely noticed is Hero's been very good at having like as many drones as you can have, it feels like, without being greedy and risking yourself because of it. Oh, is this it? I think Sue wins that. His +1 flyer carapace not done, which is a bit of an issue. If Hero barely wins this, that's going to be what changed it. More coming in. He brings his Lings. It's actually smart to bring the Lings in underneath because they take glaive hits. They absorb some damage there for your mutas. So Sue ends up crushing there. Just way more mutas. Another Zergling counterattack. Sue, though, with his own Zergling, is going to help to clean that up. Dude, look at this. Hero just keeps expanding. What is going on here? He's like a Protoss player in PvT. He's just throwing Nexuses down. He's like, I'm losing? No problem. Expand more. To be fair, Zergs do that occasionally as well. Not in this matchup, though. What a crazy ZVZ. So, the Link, Hero, okay. The overall broad strokes of winning the game are going, strategically, this is going to Sue. Okay? But, tactically, Hero has outplayed him by, 500%. It is absurd the difference in the level of tactics that we're witnessing. Hero is... I love Sue. He's one of my favorite StarCraft 2 players of all time. I've casted, everything he's ever done in that game. Absolutely love the guy. He's a sweet guy, too. But, he has been so utterly outplayed in a tactical manner here. Hero should have been dead several times. He's doing all these extra complicated things, whereas Sue is just kind of sitting there macroing, which is his style. So we can't speak ill of it, right? It's different. You might not like the style as much, but this is actually how Sue is known for playing. Is he will just outproduce you, and that's it. That's how he wins, is he has more. And we've definitely seen that. But, tactically, this has been a magic show from Hero. He has done so many different moves and forced so many different weird positions for Sue to defend despite being behind. The fact that he's still fighting here at almost 25 minutes, when he's lost... Normally, you lose one Muta battle. I already called, this is the last battle of the fight, 3 times this game. And it wasn't. And that's based off of Hero just being like, I know how to do everything. Except to have more mutas in this game. That's the only thing he doesn't know how to do. So he's less than 2 groups, and we're definitely more than 2 groups here. This is like 3 hotkeys of mutas. You can tell by the way they're flying here. Oh my god. What a ZVZ. Normally when we get a ZVZ like this, I'm like, Hive is what I wanted to see and look for, but like in this, oh my god, he is going Hive. He actually is going Hive. That is, I can't believe we're doing that at this point, and he's getting Adrenal for his counterattacks. Dude. Well, what I was about to say is like, look, it's 25-minute ZVZ. Gun to my head, I'd tell you there's a Hive by now. Like, how does a ZVZ go on like this without a Hive? Eventually, don't you look at it and say, well, Devours would be nice. Well, Plague would be nice. You know, those types of things. And we haven't seen it yet, but we're definitely going to see Devours. Now, the problem with Devours, like, if it's just Devour Muta against Muta, you will crush. But Scourge counter Devours as they counter basically everything that flies in the entire game. Like, it's brutal, because the Devours are expensive and the Scourge are cheap. A lot more Scourge, some Lings coming out. This is like a very weak moment from Hero. If we see the trigger pulled by Sue, Hero will just die. Okay, so he's making 7 Devours, 8 Devours. That is insane. Like, that's going to almost instantly max them out on Acid Spores, which is going to... It's basically like negative armor. It makes all the glaives deal more damage. It's crazy how good they work with mutas. So... the thing is, he needs to keep some mutas alive, because the Devours themselves don't kill anything, really. They shoot so slow. But the Acid Spores make a huge difference. Is he going to win? Holy crap. I just got chills from a ZVZ. You have to be kidding me. I have like pulsing chills from the top of my scalp to my feet. What in the hell is going on this game? Hero is such a god. To be in this terrible losing position for so long to end up killing all those mutas. The amount of tactical things he had to pull off to last this long, to be able to do this, to be able to afford those units, is absurd. Has he only got 1 Devourer left? But now he's up on mutas for the first time, I believe? A ton of Scourge in here. But Sue is making spores. That's smart. That's really smart. But it's not in time. It's not enough. It's not in time. Hero's going to win this game. Wait a minute. Sue's going to win this game. Ah, what's happening? What is happening? This is so crazy. Who wins? Who wins this? Oh, he's got a sunk in here. Okay, I think Hero does win. Okay, this hatch is gone. Yeah, he's got Adrenal. He's got some Lings coming up. Targets that Spore down. Sue doesn't have enough to make anything flying. This is Sue's game. I mean, Hero's game. Oh my god, I've gone back and forth so many times. GG is called. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm in shock. If you're still here, you're lucky that you stayed long enough to see how crazy the game was. Holy crap. What a game. Thank you for watching, guys.